What's your daily routine?
Get up in the morning, drink some blood,
Go on.
It's like everybody's work process. I get up, I have breakfast, I work.
Mm-hmm. A lot of your books deal with a sort of near future, and they're very speculative. People will often say things like, oh, this happened in Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. Oh, this is just like The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, which was written in 1985. And now it's really happening. Did you anticipate?
Doesn't that creep you out?
It does, yeah. Did you anticipate that?
No, you don't write those books because you hope those things will happen. You write those books because you think they might happen, but you would rather they didn't.
Atwood's first novel, The Edible Woman, published in 1969, explored several controversial issues of the time, including gender, the constraints of domestic life, and reproductive rights. 16 years later, her book The Handmaid's Tale, which was then made into a film starring Natasha Richardson and Faye Dunaway, examined questions about women's rights and sexuality even further. Although The Handmaid's Tale was written over 30 years ago, it feels eerily relevant in the context of today's debates about Planned Parenthood and abortion rights. How do you see women's rights right now?
People have to decide what kind of world they want to live in. Mm-hmm. Are we in favor of forced childbirth? Because that's the world that we're going to get if we shut down reproductive rights. Right to life is one way of putting it. Forced childbirth is another way.
It just doesn't seem like that's a good idea or going to happen.
It does seem to be that every totalitarian government on the planet has always taken a very great interest in women's reproductive rights.
Do you think I need to be worried about it as a member of the younger generation?
No, because you live in New York.
Sure.
So in Handmaid's Tale, New York is a holdout.
Let's say they live in Texas.
It would be nice for them to get a train ticket.
What do you think about, say, porn, which historically has been about presenting women for men?
The real attraction of porn is that person can't say no.
Right.
So I will never be rejected. Nobody will laugh at me. So the men will not have self-esteem destroying experiences if they're interacting with unreal sexual objects.
Do you think that's appealing for women as well?
Well, that's why they read romance novels.
Okay.
Because they know that romance will turn out well in the end. Mm-hmm. And it was even the appeal of however many shades of gray that was. The Cinderella story with porn. So Prince Charming is a fetishist.
Sure, yeah. I guess what I'm more wondering is if you think it's harmful or does more harm than good.
It's harmful if people think it's the real world and start acting that way.
Sure.
But if you think that there weren't lots of pictures of girls without very many clothes on pretty much throughout history, you'd be wrong about that too.